Welcome to White House Politics, the home of U.S. news and politics. On Saturday, Trump is set to throw red meat to his base and continue gearing up for a possible 2024 presidential run at the Houston area Save America rally. In this alternate reality, the ongoing investigation into his election scheming is all a witch hunt. Those alternate electors were just trying to help America, and he and his fellow plotters are the real victims. Back in the real world, the Justice Department announced on Tuesday it was investigating the Trump campaign's bogus elector slate scheme, which has quickly become a focus of the House Select Committee investigating January 6. The scheme began in December 2020 and involved Republicans in 7 states sending Congress-forged and fraudulent alternate electoral slates, naming Donald Trump the winner of the presidential election. Like the Justice Department's January 13 indictment of 11 Oath Keepers on charges of seditious conspiracy and the January 6 committee's subpoena surge, this Justice Department announcement represents another milestone toward full accountability. Importantly, revelation of the phony electoral slates, together with a newly unearthed draft executive order that would have directed the Defense Department to confiscate voting machines, highlights the existence of something we have been calling Plan A. This plan was the first phase of the Trump administration's plot to overturn the 2020 election. The Capitol assault aimed at pressuring Vice President Mike Pence to subvert the certification of President Joe Biden's victory. Plan B would have been needed as a backup in the event Plan A failed. On January 28, the Select Committee subpoenaed 14 of the alternate electors in the fraudulent electoral slate scheme. The Select Committee's probe continues to accumulate evidence suggesting that the violence on January 6 is inseparable from what led up to it, and that it is crucial for the Justice Department to connect the nonviolent and the violent halves of Trump's attempted coup. This would allow presentation of the whole picture to jurors if leaders are indicted. At minimum, the criminal investigation of both parts of the plot involves potential charges under 18 U.S.C. 371, 1512 and 2384, defrauding the United States, corruptly impeding an official proceeding and seditiously conspiring against the government. Failure to include both parts of the scheme in any indictment of leaders would be a colossal error. Only by connecting all evidentiary dots of the entire plot can prosecutors show jurors that any attempted coup is criminal, all the worse when the failure of a nonviolent coup triggers bloodshed and death. The electoral slate scheme and the draft executive order to seize voting machines added pieces to the puzzle of all that was being planned behind the scenes before any insurrectionist stepped foot on the Capitol grounds. Central to Plan A was getting Pence to delay Congress's official declaration of Biden's victory by halting the electoral count. To that end, CNN and The Washington Post have reported that members of the Trump campaign solicited Republicans in 7 states to submit fraudulent alternate slates. Rudy Giuliani, Trump's personal lawyer at the time, helped oversee the effort. Republicans sent the phony certifications to the National Archives for forwarding to the Senate, but the National Archives rejected. Trump campaign lawyer Boris Epshteyn was involved as well. He now admits his participation, but pretends he was merely helping create the slates as contingencies in case some court somewhere finally found the original slates to be tainted by pervasive voter fraud. More than 60 courts rejected Trump campaign lawsuits based on the big lie, and former Attorney General William Barr called Trump's voter fraud claims. Unfortunately for Epshteyn's contingent slates cover story, the contingency language appeared only in New Mexico's and Pennsylvania's certificates. In 5 states' certificates, the language did not say that the documents had been submitted only in case a court invalidated the certified Democratic slate of electors. Rather, the Republican certificates declared falsely and unequivocally that they set forth the state's official duly appointed electors. Notably, in Pennsylvania, the alternate electors had refused to sign the non-conditional version proposed by the Trump campaign. In combination with the 5 other states' certificates including the original language, the Pennsylvania electors' refusal affirms the Trump campaign's fraudulent wording and design. In connection with the scheme, the Justice Department should also investigate the involvement of GOP lawmakers like Representative Louis Gohmert of Texas. On December 27, 2020, Gohmert filed a lawsuit seeking a judicial declaration that Pence had the constitutional power to decide what to do with competing slates. The suit falsely stated that the state of Arizona and several others have appointed 2 competing slates of electors, leaving little doubt about Gohmert's knowledge of the fraudulent plan. The suit was dismissed. Some parts of Plan A may have been hiding in plain sight, lost in a fire hose of conspiratorial lunacy. On Deck.18, 2020, we might have been excused for thinking retired Gen. Mike Flynn was on a loopy lark of his own when he said Trump could immediately seize every single one of these machines around the country. As it turns out, he may have actually been in the loop of Plan A. In fact, 2 days later, Flynn and his lawyer, Sidney Powell, participated in a chaotic White House meeting about the plan to seize voting machines. Powell was sanctioned last year for her misrepresentations in a lawsuit challenging Michigan's vote. It was reported at the time that Trump was contemplating appointing Powell as a special counsel. That's all for now. Stay tuned and subscribe to White House Politics for more political news and updates.